right. When we hear the word inclusiveness, especially with regard to education, we tend to think about populations that are usually marginalized, whether it's because of sex, gender, race, disability. Today, I'm going to take a wider perspective and focus on mental health and its connection to happiness. For me, the definition of inclusive research that is the most appropriate is a transformation away from research on people to research with them. The opportunity for me to do this arose when I was approached to teach the workshop in health and safety course in the Department of Kinesiology and Health Promotion. This is also known as KHP 509. Topics change depending on who teaches this course, and so it was the perfect opportunity for me to focus on health and happiness. So now the question everyone is wondering, why health and happiness? There are many studies that highlight this correlation between health and happiness, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to mention the one that is the best, which is the Harvard study of adult development. It's a 75-year longitudinal study, and what they found is that health and happiness, so happiness and life satisfaction are the best predictors of health in old age. Aside from highlighting the connection between health and happiness and defining happiness, one of the things we did in the very beginning of my class was to kind of spend a little bit of time talking about the concept of the right to happiness. So basically letting my students know that happiness is something that everyone has the right to, and it's a real and attainable goal for everyone. Unfortunately, there are barriers on the road to happiness, and they usually present themselves in our mental health. And unfortunately, college students are especially vulnerable to that. And so when we look at the statistics, we see that 1 in 4 college students have a diagnosable mental illness. 80% have cited that they feel so overwhelmed by their responsibilities that they can't function. 40% won't seek treatment for their mental illness. Depression right now is the leading cause of students dropping out of college. 50% have anxiety that impairs their ability to succeed at school. And sadly, suicide is the second leading cause of death in college students. So knowing what we know about health and happiness, these numbers are obviously telling us that something has to be done. So in my ambition to impart knowledge about health and happiness to the college community, I taught the Art of Happiness class for the first time. This semester, we covered a variety of subjects ranging from self-esteem and stress to suffering and intimacy, flow theory, positive psychology, humor. On any given day, if you walked by my classroom, you might see students in groups analyzing case studies or painting positivity rocks or competing to build the tallest tower out of pasta and marshmallows. That was an interesting day when we did flow theory. But most importantly, the content was so unique and personal that it allowed me to engage every student differently and also challenge them specifically to be engaged. So the payback and the success of being like a successful student in this class is that you learn to live a healthier, happier life with less stress and higher self-esteem and the ability to forgive and release anger and express compassion. So I'm trying to arm them with the skills and the knowledge to be happier individuals. There's a letter grade too, right? So I'm not just kind of grading them with hugs and smiles and compliments, which would be great. But the content for me is something that I could not be more passionate about and believe that we need more of in this world, which is health and happiness. And so hopefully that is what my students will take away with them when they leave this class. And so I ask you today, are you happy? And if you are, then keep doing what you're doing. And if you aren't, today is the perfect day to make a change. Thank you.